This podcast is sponsored by Jew Bang Real or Fake Mixtape, available on iTunes and datpiff.com. Jew Bang Real or Fake Mixtape. Now that we got that out the way, this is a portion of an interview that I did with Beasley. It's a full podcast, but I'm going to give y'all a little piece of it right now. The full podcast, audio only, will be available tomorrow on my SoundCloud and iTunes. You know, the SoundCloud is Doggie Diamonds No Filter. The iTunes is the same thing. Doggie Diamonds No Filter. Let's get into this.
Y'all lost the battle that bothered me, man. I felt like Lux and Hollow is a URL battle.
Well, it started on URL.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a URL battle, but you know the money got so crazy that we just made a collective decision to say no. And I went in and I enjoyed it as a fan. I thought it was a great battle. But if you look at what happened after, the company that put the battle on no longer exists.
Wow.
You know what I mean? The original core of the company, you know, they changed names to a different name.
Yeah.
The same people that were involved are no longer involved. And there was no real big financial return. It crashed that company.
How do you feel as owning a league and you have all these celebrities that come, they want to get on the stage, they're going to be on stage promoting their brand, their hat, and this battle's going to get 300,000-400,000 views, and it's kind of promotion for them. I guess it helps your brand because Kevin Durant is there, but not singling him out, but they don't want to help invest in keeping this shit alive. Does that bother you?
Nah, not really, because it's not really anyone's responsibility. You know what I mean?
Fuck that. And they want to be on there getting all this shine. Because you know, I'm going to keep it real with you. I love the smack battle format, but I hate when I look back and I see like 600 people back there, and it's like, what are you up there for?
Right.
What are you there for?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I think that at this point right now is getting a little ridiculous because it's like an entourage, and then you got this dude that want to be the hype man for every bar, and this person is trying to grandstand the battle.
Yeah, because a lot of times what you have is when you got guys who want to be famous.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So sometimes they don't have a talent, but their talent is they're the toughest street guy.
Yeah. I'm the greatest
That's my
troll.
talent.
Yeah.
What? Y'all shut up. You ain't gonna do nothing.
Talk to this nigga. Talk to this nigga.
You just like, real bro, man, please.
Right now, y'all canceled Summer Madness. Why? I know you explained it on different platforms, but why?
Why do we cancel Summer Madness for a number of reasons? You know, a lot people don't understand, man. Like when that shooting happened in New York City,
crippled.
It really made it tough because you have to understand, like when people are for the artists, you know what I mean. It's cool because they can just easily go around the country. You know what I mean. But this is something that takes a lot to move. It's a lot of moving parts with URL. You know, you got 12 MCs at least in one match. You may have to fly to another market. The economy is different, so you can't charge the same price on the ticket, but yet the artists don't want to lower their fees. And then, like, you know, it's just New York is the Mecca. It's a centralized area where people appreciate this form of hip hop entertainment. It's known area for lyricism. You know, if you go further down south, their entertainment is more so the trap music and the music that we spoke about earlier in the podcast. It's not really a lyricism-based markets. So you kind of got to be out here, but then you're trying to find something that can hold a capacity where you can recoup what you put up. Then, you know, there was a couple of artists who were really trying to charge some outrageous rates for their services, money that they're not getting from anyone else, but that they want to turn around and ask for double the money from us. So it's just like that coupled with just trying to secure the right venue, and then by the time they did give us a venue, it was on the wrong day, and it was too short a time to promote, to really get the word out. So all of those things kind of aided in us making a conscious decision not to do it, because you don't want to walk anything you do is a gamble, but you don't want to walk into something knowing you're going to lose.
The other battle y'all lost was Lux and Mook, which I hated that shit on Total Slaughter. I was like, it just...
I think it would have been a totally different battle.
It would have been closer.
I mean, who knows who would have won. I'm not taking anything away from Mook or Lux. I just think that that was an audience that didn't appreciate the culture. They didn't really know. A lot of them were just Eminem fans who
Joe
showed
Budden
up
fans.
and maybe that don't actually follow battle rap or have an understanding of the culture or the things that are going on with it. I didn't like the setup, you know what I mean, of it, you know, just the way that everything was structured. I just didn't feel like a battle to me. It didn't have the grind.
Arsenal was the star of the night to me, though. I think Arsenal still did his thing.
Shout out to him.
Why are you not you don't talk winners and losers. You're not biased. But other people that's URL affiliated will go and say, "Oh, such and such got 3-0." Do you not like that?
You mean other staff members?
Well, Nels in particular, she likes to.
I mean, it's Nels, man.
Do you wish she didn't do that?
I kind of wish, but I don't think people. I mean, not to take anything away from her, I don't think they take it as much to heart as if it's me smacking.
Okay.
Saying it, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone is a part of what we're doing, but everyone just works in a different capacity. So I don't think it coming from her or maybe even Norbs, because Norbs is known to agitate people.
Yeah,
that's his job.
He's a troll.
He's a jerk.
Yeah.
He's my brother, but he's a jerk.
Yeah.
So people don't see it in the same way. But if you have someone such as myself or Smack who hardly ever comment or give commentary on battles, and then I just come out of nowhere and I say, this one got 3-0, then the people would be mad at us because it'd be like, you can't say that because you're kind of giving direction to people's decisions.
Do you feel sometimes like, damn, he just got his ass
all the
whooped?
time.
Yeah.
We talk behind the scenes
Okay.
like, woof!
Okay.
This is nasty.
So being that, do you comment? Do you at least give your opinion on other battle leagues battles?
Yeah, I can do that. Because that has nothing to do with me.
So Mook and Lux, we all agree that Mook won that night.
Yes.
Lux and Hollow, who won?
When I was in the building, I said Hollow to Don.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was over. Everyone was like, Hollow. And I felt that he won. That was a very close battle. Depends on how you judge it. But then Lux says some things that registered
was
to me
dope,
later
man.
on.
Yeah,
So
Lux
I
was incredible.
that one I would have to watch again. I can't really. I mean, in the building, I left feeling that Hollow to Don won. You know what I mean? But then watching it again, I'm like, holy shit, Lux. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still am kind of undecided.
I think we
the
won.
fans won. Yeah. I love that battle. That was like my favorite battle that year.
Has it been battles where you've been disappointed in the turnout of the performance of the battlers where you just like, yo, you're not fucking getting paid, man?
All the time, man. Dudes come choking, messing up, trying to do a million battles, and then they're not prepared. You know, stuff like that happens often. So you got to, it's you know, and you don't see them. And then they get mad. Then they go, oh, I'm being blocked. Why am I not getting booked? And, you know, the fans, oh, you should let so-and-so come back. The fans are the most forgiving people when they're not paying for it.
When it ain't on their dime, right?
Oh, you should just pay him. You guys are being cheap. Or, you know, they count your money. Oh, they made this amount of money. They should just go ahead and just pay him whatever he wants.
When y'all first started, y'all was doing crowdfunding to release the battles. Why didn't that work?
We had something where we just asked for donations, but it didn't really, you know, we knew we were going to bring the battles out regardless. It worked for a little while. You know, but at that time, people forget we were doing we were still paying people and doing events for free.
Yeah,
charging dudes $10 to come in, $20. That's like unheard of battle prices right now.
Also, B Magic ran off on a plug.
Oh man, did he?
How does that get resolved? Because me personally, you know, from where we from, if somebody run off with your money, you kind of get shot.
Well, I mean, it's gonna get resolved.
You get shot.
B Magic has agreed to pay the money back.
So he doesn't want to battle Av?
He doesn't want to battle him. I gave him numerous opportunities. I told him I would fly
Magic,
him
you
back
one of my favorites, man. You can't be.
No, man. I made every possible concession to make that happen. I offered to fly him up that week, the following day. Do you need 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? Every possible way that I could make that battle happen, I offered it to him. He declined and chooses to pay back the money. So let's see if he pays the money back.
Will we ever see Lux, Mook, Hitman Holla, Arsenal back on the URL stage.
Yes, you will.
Does that something that you have to outsource the money outside of the company? How does that work for people who don't? Because they think that you got like a few M's in the bank somewhere. You're just being greedy.
I mean,
because but even if you have a few M's,
right,
it has nothing to do with the company.
Right, it's not business. People have to separate personal from business.
Okay,
you know what I mean. I don't have a few M's though.
Yeah.
I'll some money from you, but like it's like with anything else. Like if you have a viable brand,
mm-hmm.
you can get investors and you can work it out where you pay your investor back and you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have something that's valuable, there's always a way to get money. It's just I don't always go to an investor if I don't think the money's going to come back.
Yeah.
Because why am I going to do that? And then I don't always feel good giving someone money and then they're making more money than we are and we're taking all the risks.
That
doesn't make any sense.
And then some of them are half-assing
Right. Half-assing me. You're not showing up. Then you're leaving with more money than I did, and I took the risks. And people are okay with that. They're like, well, just give them the money and do whatever.
I know you're not supposed to be biased. So you're not really supposed to speak on what's not. But who is impressing you this year? Like, who do you like?
Rum Nitty. Ill Will just came back.
He's back.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's back. Classic battle. Like, that's either way.
Av is fire.
Yeah, definitely.
I like Mike P. I still like DNA. I like these are people who I know are gonna perform
every night.
No matter what they say about DNA, he always shows up with 3 rounds. He's always there on time. He performs. He never chokes. He messes. He gets it done. You know what I mean? Who else? For Tay Rock.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just a couple.
The 2-on-2s, are y'all gonna continue that or?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Okay.
It was successful.
Are you NWX biased? Keep it real.
Am I NWX biased?
That's family. Like,
yeah, it's family, but I don't.
How do you separate the family from the
Well,
business?
I don't. There's no judge.
Okay.
Right? So there's no way I can say, oh, okay, well, you're, NWX, people were making themselves hot. They came and did some marketing and boosted themselves up. They made themselves hot. Like,
yeah.
They went around, they battled everywhere, they kept going. DNA's dropping freestyles every week. He's on World Star Hip Hop. He's up at Revolt. He's doing
shout out to that
He's working, dog. So,
and it's funny because I used to be real hard on DNA because I saw his potential. And then once we kicked it, he just did some of the shit that I wanted from him. And now DMA,
every week he shot a video the last 3-4 weeks, full videos. You know what I'm saying? Pushing them shits, getting them on the, coming up with creative. Him and Conceited did the sneakers or the jerseys. Then last week he did the Nas Rewind video. He did that. That went on World Star and a couple other blogs and sites. Then he went up to Revolt. Then he's on Flex. Then he's working.
Question: T-Rex versus K-Shine. Is that gonna happen on URL?
Yes, it is.
It's gonna happen.
Yes.
Do you know when it's gonna
happen? Beginning of next year.
Ooh, 2017. So you heard it here first. Is it already something that they are willing to do?
They're already willing. They're both in to do it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been a little bit shoving and pushing. How do you avoid that between Rex and Shine though? Because they have the same temperament.
I mean, they're both gonna have to establish a certain level of control, man. I think that they'll be able to do it.
Will Summer Madness return?
Oh yeah.
Gnome.
Gnome is November 20th.
Okay, November 20th. Who's the headliner of that? Because this will be out definitely before then.
How soon is this coming out?
I'll save it if you're gonna, if you're gonna give me the announcement.
You can, hopefully within a week we'll have.
Okay, yeah.
Out, so, all right, I'm gonna give you the card.
Yeah, give me the card.
And I'll let you know when I'm putting the trail out.
And then I'll drop it to say, all right, sound good, sound perfect.
We got DNA and Daylight
versus Daylight.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You got T-Top versus Surf.
Whoa.
You got Arsenal versus Briz Rothstein.
So Arsenal's back.
You got what did I say? What did I say? How many was that so far?
3.
You got him. You got hold on. Oh, Charlie Clips going up against Ill Will.
Whoa.
And Tay Rock versus Rum Nitty.
Whoa. Great card. When you put a card together like that, Clips won some money, Arsenal won some money, Surf won some money. How much of that shit set you back? I just want clarity for the fans because
I mean, you know, we spend money, man.
Yeah,
you know, we got
it's
ways
definitely
to make money,
six
but
figures, right?
not on this one because we had a couple of unique situations that enabled it not to be that. I mean, if I'm going 6 figures, I mean, a building can only generate 6 figures. So, you know, I could get certain prices, but some guys want more. It all depends on the situation and where they're at personally, what they're willing to accept. It fluctuates. But in this particular instance, we didn't go 6 figures because you only can get 6 figures out of the building. If you sell every single ticket, you would only probably be able to make like $100,000 out of that building.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's 1,000 people.
There's one more thing that I wanted to cover with you. The females on URL, do y'all not really fuck with that because of Queen of the Ring, or do you try to do like?
Well, we do them once in a while, but Queen of the Ring definitely is the
female league,
the premier league for female battle rap. They're the ones that have put in the most time, dedication, and effort. And you know, we have a huge reach, but we work in conjunction with them, you know, on some of the battles. But at the same time, it's like we do have probably the biggest reach and social impact within the battle culture. So, like, if I just started doing wild all-female cards, it would be a direct conflict with what they're doing, and we're
y'all
friends.
got a good rapport.
Right.
Yeah, no, I like the way y'all work together.
It's just not classy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to start making these, and then it causes disruption with them, because then these girls might turn around and be like, well, I'll just go directly on you, you know what I mean, on URL or whatever. So we do them once in a while because we do one, but we're a little, you know, we pick the ones that we like, the matches that we want to get, and we just knock those out.
One last question. Will we ever see a URL versus King of the Dot?
I don't want to say never, but it's not something that we're interested in. It doesn't help URL at all.
Who does it help though?
It helps anyone else that we go against.
Okay.
Because there's such a large number in terms of viewership that we're ahead of all the English-speaking leagues. There's one league called in the Philippines. They're retarded. Their numbers are crazy, but that's, you know, non-English speaking league. But in terms of English speaking leagues, in terms of social impact, in terms of numbers, URL is far ahead of everyone else. Like the competition, if you want to call it competition, which I don't think that we have, we're 100 million more views more than anyone else that's close to us, over 100,000 subscribers, and you know how it is to collect subscribers on YouTube.
Very
is
hard.
difficult. So it's like, to have that, I just feel like it would be a plus to the other league because there's nothing that we can share.
How would you split the footage, right?
Right. How do we split the footage? And then just why? Like if somebody's watching,
like, why, right?
If somebody's watching battle rap, period, and you have the bigger league, I'm sure they watch. Everyone that's watching that is watching URL. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like, because people psych me out with this shit like, oh, you know, we just get international. We need to go over here. And if it's so big, it would be more views. It would be more subscribers. It would be all those things. You know what I mean? The other leagues can't function without using URL talent on the card. It just won't work. I can do a whole event without anyone from overseas or anyone else. I don't need to use them. We have our own guys. URL develops the majority of the talent that you see in battle rap. Yes, there are smaller leagues, and we need them because they bring attention to the artists, and then we grab them from those leagues, and then we put them through the proving grounds, and then we bring them up, you know, through to URL, and they're needed. Just like in MMA, you have a million MMA promotions, but everybody wants to be in the UFC. So they go through a whole system and a process of getting the attention of the UFC. Maybe they go on the Ultimate Fighter show. Maybe they start on some of the smaller
Bellator
cards
stuff,
or whatever, and then they eventually work their way up. I just think that us versus someone else, you typically when you go against someone, it's thought that there's some level of competition there. There's some reason why I'm gonna go against this person. Now, if there's a league that's coming up and they're doing, and I also believe that we have two different genres of battle rap.
I agree.
I believe URL is more street based, and it's a different feel and
Even
a vibe.
though keep it real. Sharon did
Did well. I'm not saying that they can't compete. I'm not saying that. I'm not disrespecting them at all. I like what they do at King of the Dot. I think they're the kings of their genre, and we're the kings of our genre of battle rap. But I think there's some points where they do have some guys that could compete over here. But I think there's a culture shock there. I think there's certain things that we'll say in our rhymes that they just won't get because they don't understand the slang, or they're not from those neighborhoods, or they don't have those experiences or forms of expression where they can kind of connect us to what the guy's saying when he's telling a particular story, and vice versa. So I just don't see a reason to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't. There's been tons of battles that have happened on their platform with URL guys, right? And whether you think they won or lost, the viewership on those battles is not any higher than any guys that I have that are just over here. So it's not going to be a viewership thing. There's no boost. And what it does is it just opens up them to our audience. You know what I'm saying? So it elevates them more than it's going to elevate us, because their people are obviously watching our stuff because there's such a disparity in viewership.
So, the contracts, is that still taking place, or is that?
Yes, it is.
Disaster. Okay. Will Disaster ever battle on URL again?
Yes, I speak to Disaster all the time.
Okay. Are you interested in Disaster versus Math Hoffa again?
Not interested in it. I mean, if it's an MMA match, I would like to see it so they could settle their differences and be done with it once and for all. You know what I mean? It would be tough, to bring Disaster to New York, because I'm pretty sure that Math Hoffa is going to be, at the venue.
You're going to get your ass.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that, Disaster is scared or shook or anything like that, but I don't want to have
that blood on
that
your hands
element if something happens to either one of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that I would do.
Dream battle for Beasley would be to put who versus who?
There's not one that I'm really like dreaming of. You know what I mean? It's not, I just want what we're doing to be bigger. That's all. I just want to get it bigger. I want it just to have more respect. I want to increase. I think it has become its own industry, but I want it to become just a little more. And the rappers be like, we don't believe you. And I tell them, I was like, I want to make it so that the guys that battle are driving Benzes and living in condos, because what that does is people only go off of what they see, right? So if they see that, now all of a sudden they respect it more because they believe that there's money. Even when people find out that our tickets are $75 for that, for real, and then now people have begun to respect it, and that was the goal. When we set out to do it, is to put it in the Irving Plazas, put it in the Webster Halls, put it in the Gramercy. Every place else that, you see regular mainstream performances, I want to see battle rap in those performances. And I think that aided in its growth. And people seeing, holy shit, Drake is there and Kevin Durant, it's packed out rear to rear. The tickets was $100 a ticket. That is what has helped it get bigger to this point.
Is the goal...
And you'll see it in other forms of culture.
But is the goal the Barclays?
Barclays, yes. The Staples Center.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to keep it real with you on here on this shit. I thought Lux and Mook build up was so powerful.
Hey, thank you for watching. Don't leave without subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Peace. If you're wondering why you subscribe to this channel but you don't know that new videos are being uploaded, that's because you have to also turn the notifications on. By the Doggie Diamonds TV subscribe button, you also have to click on the bell. That's turning on the notifications. So every time a new video is uploaded to this channel, then you'll be notified that a new video is uploaded. Make sure you hit that bell if you want your notifications on. Peace.